So let me start with you, Alexander. Can you tell us, Kenya is in the process of forming its sovereign wealth fund systems to promote cross-border investments in Africa. Please share some co-investment opportunities for global and African investors in Kenya.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Chair. Kenya has a lot of investment potentials for both regional and global investors. First and foremost, we have LAPSET, which is a regional infrastructure project covering road, rail, power, ports, energy. This is a $13 billion project that we think is the biggest in Africa at the moment. We also plan to have a silicon savannah in Kenya. We call it Konza City. This is a $3 billion development, and we're about to break ground on that. As you know, most of the US ICT firms are headquartered in Nairobi. IBM Africa is in Nairobi. Google Africa is in Nairobi. GE Africa is in Nairobi. So we have a lot already on the ground. And you know, we lead the world in mobile banking. We do have 5,000 megawatts planned for energy. And this includes geothermal, where we are one of the largest developers in the emerging world. This also includes coal-fired plants, $1 billion currently going through tenders, as well as other renewables. Kenya has announced a rail development from Mombasa towards Nairobi initially, and then regionally to Uganda and Kigali. This is a $3 billion development. It's already broken ground, and feasibility studies to extend it from Nairobi to the rest of the region is ongoing. We plan a greenfield airport that will be literally 10 to 20 million passengers annually. So again, this is something that you investors can actually come over and help us develop. We have one of the best developed financial sectors in the region, and Kenya is planning to develop Nairobi as a financial hub. This is a project that is on the table today. I'm very privileged to have done the concept note for that. It's going to be modeled on financial centers like Dubai, DIFC, and the Qatar Financial Center. So again, this is open, available today, and we can literally start as soon as you're ready. Kenya also plans a lot of developments in oil and gas. We have recently discovered substantial onshore as well as offshore oil and gas. This will include possibly a pipeline today, either in Uganda, shared by the three countries, that's Uganda, Rwanda, and Kenya, and or a pipeline in Mombasa to the region, as well as a major refinery. Refinery, we think about $3 billion, can be set up both in Nairobi, in Kenya, or in Uganda. We also have special economic zones which are available in Mombasa. Again, we expect this to have a regional slant. So if you have one assembly plant in Nairobi, you don't need to replicate it across the region. You can actually have it in Kenya or in Uganda or Tanzania. And finally, Kenya has a PPP law and framework in place, as well as a PPP unit. This is funded by the World Bank that can help a lot in the project development. It's probably good, Chair, to end on a bright note that with the substantial onshore as well as offshore oil and gas reserves, Kenya, together with Tanzania and Mozambique, could actually make East Africa the 21st century capital of oil and gas. So I think with that, there are a lot of exciting things that you can come and build. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you.
Yes, I had a question about sovereign bonds. What have you done with sovereign bonds to finance your different infrastructure projects, and what are you doing to increase your credit rating? Because that's one of the critical hurdles in terms of infrastructure financing. If every country could state something about that, I'd appreciate it.
Please state your affiliation.
Hugh Bobbitt. I'm the chairman of Georgetown Equity Advisors.
Who wants to?
Yeah. Thank you very much for your question. As you know, Kenya recently went to the capital markets and raised a $2 billion sovereign bond. Now, the application of that was initially to retire an earlier borrowing from the capital markets, and the rest was to be allocated to infrastructure. $2 billion.
Doing business in Africa. You can't afford to be without Africa Investor.